Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chris and my goal on this channel is to give you the information you need to be able to have the best relationship possible with your dog. As far as my background and experience, I've been a professional dog trainer for just over 23 years and I've trained over 5,000 dogs with a 100% success rate. Now in this video, it's going to be one that is going to answer a question that I have gotten a lot over the last 23 years, and that is people that want to become a dog trainer. How do you do it? What's the best way of going about it? And today in this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about how to be a dog trainer. We're going to talk about the process. We're going to talk about the pitfalls. We're going to talk about where people struggle. We're going to talk about why people fail, but we're also going to finish it off with how you can actually get started becoming a dog trainer and making a really good living at it. So for all of you that are interested in possibly becoming a dog trainer, this video is definitely one that you want to watch. So let's get started. Now, how I got started as a dog trainer was I got out of college, got done playing baseball, and an opportunity came up and I was able to start learning in the Schützensport, which is a German dog sport, protection, tracking, and obedience. And I had some of the top trainers in the world start to feed into me the knowledge of how dogs work and how to communicate to them and how to read dog behavior and all of that kind of stuff. And so for a lot of years, I did a lot of listening, a lot of learning, and a lot of helping. And so when people ask me, they say, did you go to a school? Did you take a test? Did you go through a certificate? No, because you don't have to. There's a lot of colleges out there and there's a lot of programs out there that you can take where you go through and take tests and you get the certificate that says you're a dog trainer. But people then don't know necessarily where to start, or what they learned doesn't allow them to be able to train any dog out there. And so what I want to talk about is, in this instance, what ultimately separates a really good dog trainer from a dog trainer that is only able to do certain type of dogs. And we're going to talk about some misconceptions right now as well. So the biggest thing that separates me from a lot of other trainers is I can train any dog. Over time, with knowledge and experience, I've learned how to adjust myself to be what the dog needs me to be. Where there's a lot of trainers out there, because of limited understanding and knowledge and experience, they go to train a dog and they really struggle because they don't know how to overcome a problem. It's not because they're a bad dog trainer, it's because they just don't have that knowledge, or they don't have that experience or understanding of where the problem is actually coming from the dog. So it's important to understand, just like with anything, there's a lot of different levels of dog trainers out there. There are some really good ones that only do certain type of dogs. I've known some world champion Schützen trainers that have tried to train a dog that doesn't have as good a nerve structure, and they don't know how to adjust to that, and they fail. But it doesn't mean that they're a bad trainer. They just only train those really top-notch, great dogs. So my goal in this is to give you the information and knowledge necessary for you to be able to learn how to adjust to any dog that comes across your path. Also, the structure of the way that I do things, the services that I offer, a lot of times are different because of the knowledge and experience I have. So for example, when I train a dog for just standard, regular obedience, and I offer boarded training and I offer private lessons. Boarded training, I keep the dog for 4 weeks and I teach them the down command, the hear command, and the walk. And for me to do that, I charge $2,500. Now, when I charge that money, that $2,500, I'm guaranteeing that when they leave the lesson, the dog is downing on command and staying on a down, is walking properly on a leash, and is coming when called. And that I've also taught them how to maintain that at home and outside of their home. That is the transfer of leadership moment when those 4 weeks are over. Without that, it doesn't work. Private lessons, I charge $200 an hour. Now these prices are prices that people have learned that the quality of what I do, it's well worth paying that money, so they do it. Where you may start out less, like I did in the beginning, where we were charging maybe $800 for 2 or 3 of those commands. And so as time goes and as your experience goes, then obviously your demand is going to go up. So what I mean by that, for example, in the beginning, it was training 1 or 2, 3 dogs at a time. And then it got to the point where we were training 35 dogs a day on average. And then as time has gone by, I've dropped it down. When we lived in Wyoming, I was only then training around 20 a day, and a lot of those were service dogs. And then at another time, I was only training like maybe 7 at a time, where right now, getting closer to the end of this journey in my life, I'm training 1 to 2 at a time. But it's going to be different for everybody that does this. This is just an example of how I do it. Now, one of the reasons why people that try to get into dog training don't continue to do it is because they have some misunderstandings of what they should be expecting. So for example, I get asked a lot, can I train a German Shepherd, or can I train a Husky, or can I train this breed or that breed? When in reality, it's a dog. Every single dog is built the same when it comes to rules and communication. And when we see that and we have an understanding of why dogs do what they do, and then we can come alongside them and help them through that, that's what creates that success at the end, so that dog has a much better life. Another reason why people struggle is because there's so many teachings, there's so many schools out there right now that also only teach positive training only. And I'm sorry, but that's just not how dogs work. Dogs correct each other physically. They have positive and they have negative. They have positive verbals and they have negative verbals. They have positive physical and they have negative physical. It's just the way it works for dogs. There is no way around it. Can you have success with a really nice dog using drive, prey drive, food drive to get a semblance of obedience? Absolutely. People do it all the time. But when it comes down to obedience, which is your dog minding you whether they want to or not, you have to have some type of negative reinforcement that creates the thought in their brain that they want to do this command over here to avoid this correction over here. And in order to do that safely and to not risk abuse, you do have to have a really good understanding of why and when to correct. And so as we get towards the end of this video, I'm going to explain how you can actually go through and where you can go to learn how to do this properly and safely. Now, I kind of dived into this just a little bit, but let me also say that the most important part of any training that anybody can do as far as their program is learning how to transfer that leadership and understanding to the owners, because a dog is ultimately only as good as the handlers. I can train any dog that comes to me, and that dog will mind me to the T. But once I hand that dog over to the owners, I have to be able to teach them how to make sure to use the equipment properly, give them structure at home of how they're going to introduce this obedience into their home, because the dog doesn't know yet that they have to mind at home. So I have to teach them how to transfer the rules into their home and give them some structure in order to do that. And it works incredibly well. And then one of the things that I offer in my program, and this is just some advice if this is something that you're going to start to do, because a dog's only as good as a handler, one of the things that I do is that once I train a dog in the boarded training, any help they need maintaining the obedience is free for the rest of the dog's life. Now, it's kind of like an insurance policy for the dog's behavior. And so it gives value to the training because the people know that they're not going to be having to shell out more money just to go get help. And overall, it's just better customer service. But the reason why I do that is because what's most important is that the dog is staying in an environment, living, and has leaders that are continuing to be consistent. So without that freedom to be able to ask me questions, which majority of the time the questions come down to, what was the down command again? Because I use German, which is Platz. But it's very rare people have to come back and ask. It's only in certain situations where it's a really tough dog or a dog that is incredibly sensitive to change and stuff that people might call, and a lot of the times I can just help them with answering their questions over the phone, and then they go back to having success. Now the big question, how do you do all this? If this is something that you want to do, it's actually going to be pretty easy for you. I have an online training program that I have put out there for people that have wanted to train their dog, but they maybe were having a hard time finding a dog trainer, or clients that I know all over the nation, they want to be able to train their new dog now in the comfort of their own home. But this has also created a situation where if somebody wanted to actually be a dog trainer, they could train a dog, and I'm going to give some recommendations, but they could train a dog, any dog, using my program for $49 a month. Now this is how I would recommend doing it. First, train your own dog, gain that success. And then if you have some friends that have dogs that you want to help them out with, and you want to get some experience before you actually start advertising or charging money for it, train some friends' dogs. Go through that program, and you're going to find that it doesn't matter whose dog it is that you train. For every single person that has gone through my program on training their own dog, what a lot of people don't realize is that they're now a dog trainer. They're just not a professional dog trainer. But if you want to be a professional dog trainer, you can use this program to be able to guide you along and teach you everything that I know when it comes to dogs, the way that it's laid out. I talk about the inner workings of a dog's mind, understanding nerve structure, dog communication, how we structure it. It takes you step by step to train a dog, whether it's your dog or somebody else's. And then it's really up to you on how you want to structure your business. The thing is that there's a dying knowledge out there when it comes down to how to properly train a dog in a way that is fair and is good, and that's going to allow people to be able to keep their dog, because maybe they didn't know how to handle that dog prior, or it's been causing problems or showing aggression or whatever it might be. This has been a wonderful journey in my life, being able to save dogs from being put down because the owners just didn't know what to do. And there was dog trainers out there that they went to that just didn't know what to do, but then they happened to hear my name or find out about me some way, and we were able to go through and have success. So to sum it all up, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that anybody has and help you along this journey as well. So again, thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.